Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment Mount, proud father of 7, grandfather of 20 and counting, and as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country, in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. But before we get too far into the show, let's thank our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range, and Trinity Training and Security. All right, and joining me today is Sheriff Dar Leaf from the great county of Barry in the state of Michigan. Dar, welcome back to the Home Defense Show.
Hey, thanks for the invitation again.
Hey, no problem. You just came from the great white north. You were up north this past weekend or something, was it?
Yes, in a group of about 160 very patriotic, fun-loving people.
By patriotic, you mean they were all toting guns?
I don't know about all of them, but I'm sure some of them were.
I'm sure they were too. Well, I'm glad that went well.
Well, I was.
well, you were you did a talk on something?
Oh, yes. It was a Second Amendment group, and I think it was a fundraiser of some kind. I'm not sure what they're raising money for. But nonetheless, had to take the knowledge I have on the Second Amendment, because everybody starts screaming and hollering, it's my Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Well, there's a first part to that too, where it says a well-regulated militia. So in reality, it's your duty to be on a militia.
Fantastic. And that goes over really well in the big cities, doesn't it?
If they would understand it, I think it would go better.
Yeah, well, I think so too. Yeah,
I don't think you'd have the drug problem or the child trafficking problem.
Yeah, well, the militia gets a lot of bad press because people don't understand what it is. They just automatically assume violent overthrow of the government because that's what they've been fed their whole lives.
Yeah, that really was turned up high in the Clinton years. And what they do when the militia started coming around, they went after the militias and saying, "Oh, naughty militia." Well, militia is not a naughty word; it's your duty.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have you on again for just solely on that topic. But today, Dar, I wanted to talk about, some concealed pistol license stuff. Basically, I want to talk about traffic stops, encounters with police officers when you are carrying a concealed pistol legally. Okay.
Yeah.
You teach this every month, at my CPL classes. But not all the listeners have been to our class. So how do you recommend? Well, first, why do people have to tell a police officer that they're carrying a gun in the first place?
Well, that was put in the act because the law enforcement community is real nervous about the fact that people will be carrying guns in just about everywhere in the state. And law enforcement wanted to know who had guns and who didn't. And they had to put in there. I don't know all the details on it. I didn't get involved in that part of it, but I know that much of it.
Yeah. Well, I believe there's 4 states in the country, the last I checked, that require an immediate disclosure, and Michigan is one of those. I believe Nebraska and Virginia as well. But, oddly enough, states like California, New York, Illinois, they don't require immediate disclosure, but they probably figure anyone who's carrying a gun is a criminal anyways.
You said a mouthful there.
Yeah,
In reality, it was funny because one of the pushing factors on the CPL I did a traffic stop several years ago, and it was a guy with a headlight out. And when I walk up to the car, it was an Indiana plate. When I walk up to the car, the guy was really fidgety, nervous, and just starting to sweat a little bit. And I said, ask him, "Hey, are you okay?" He said, "Well, I'm here at Conservation Club. We got some fun shoot here. I'm a concealed pistol license holder from Indiana." "Oh, That's nice. Well, in Michigan, we recognize Indiana's concealed pistol license, and we didn't have one here in Michigan allowing our own residents. So that threw me I can't call it a curveball. That threw me a big old slow fastball that I wanted to hit over the fence.
Yeah.
Because it was like you're letting Indiana residents and you won't let Michigan residents here. So that rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, that always rubbed me the wrong way too, because it's been our CPL law has been around for 25 years now, and but I remember when we were fighting for that prior to that, and we fought for it for like 20 years. It was frustrating to me
Yeah.
that by statute, the state of Michigan recognized every other CPL in the country, but wouldn't let their own citizens carry. And I never understood the logic behind that.
There is none. That's
Okay.
why.
Well, good. I'm glad it wasn't
But
just me then.
let's look at it a little bit deeper, though. Like this immediately identifying to a police officer that you're carrying concealed today. All right. Why is that there? I understand put the officer at ease, but at the same time, all these other states that don't have that, are their officers getting shot at more than ours?
I don't think
No,
so.
we need to start taking a look at stuff like this, and that this is working in other states without having to do that. Why do we have to have it here?
Yeah. Well, I've been pulled over in other states. I think one time I was pulled over in Illinois, right? And they asked me, "Are there any weapons inside the vehicle?" And it sounded like, "Oh, this is a standard question." This cop asks that every single time, and I think in some of the other states, that's pretty basic.
Yeah, they teach you to do that. They teach us to ask questions because a lot of times out of guilt, people will answer them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm always pretty honest about things like that. I
Yeah,
was carrying and it was legal, so not a problem.
there was a time when they first come out with this concealed pistol law that they were teaching officers that you go take that possession of that pistol while you're writing the traffic citation. And I'm sitting there going, "What? You're asking somebody who's already nervous as a mouse in a burlesque show to give you give you their pistol so you can take it back with you because you're worried about them shooting at you while you're writing a
Yeah.
citation."
What
And
could
the
go
whole thought
wrong
on it,
there?
yeah, and your head's down writing a citation. That was their thought.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, no, last thing I want is somebody who's nervous like that even touched their gun.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, because people are nervous enough as it is. I mean, and I'm nervous, and I haven't done anything wrong. But every time I get pulled over, it's like, okay, I'm nervous, a little frustrated, put out, all of that stuff. And it's like now there's a police officer, with a loaded gun standing next to me, maybe he has his hand on his firearm, and he's asking me to draw my gun and give it to him. And if a cop ever asked me to do that, I guess I would just say, all right, I'll comply with your commands. How do you want me to do that? Because that seems like that's dangerous for both of us.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, it's stupid and dangerous.
Because you're nervous. You've been teaching concealed pistol classes since 2000. And how many times when you go to that stress part of the fun shootout there or the qualification, how many times do people do something stupid like they just shot their required amount of rounds, then they turn around with that gun in their hand right towards everybody behind them who's watching.
Yeah.
But now you're being pulled over by a police officer, authority. You're looking at maybe getting a traffic citation, or you got this gun and you thinking, okay, I think I got everything legal on here. I'm not sure. So you got that in the back of your head. You might be going to jail. And now all of a sudden he says, "Hey, I want you to pull your gun out of your holster and hand it to me." What do you think is going to come at the officer first? That muzzle.
Yeah. 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 And you might have your finger on the trigger too.
Yeah.
I have seen the smartest people in the world on that stress test that we do at the very end. I mean, you've seen how stressful that is. We get their heart rate all jacked up. And then, I've seen doctors, lawyers, I mean, you name it, the smartest people in the world do stupid things with a firearm in their hand once they get under stress.
You're absolutely right. Officers do stupid things under
Well,
stress.
yeah. Yeah. I certainly do as well. I mean, they change their grip, they just blank out. They do all kinds of really infantile things, almost. But that's just the nature of the beast. So, can you just walk us through so the listeners know how should they handle a traffic stop from the point is okay, you've decided to pull somebody over. How should they respond?
All right. First of all, you got the red and blue lights. You find a good safe spot to pull on over, and you should be pulling over as soon as possible. None of this driving and driving and driving. What that's going to do is going to cause an alarm to the officer. He's going to call it in, and you're going to have several officers coming on out. So just pull over as calmly as you can alongside the road. When you're waiting for the officer, get your driver's license and your concealed pistol license out, along with your driver's license or your registration and proof of insurance. So that'd be your driver's license, your concealed pistol license, your registration, and proof of insurance out. Have that all ready to go. I would have the concealed pistol license on top of everything. And then most officers now are carrying body cams on their body.
Mhm.
And I would lift that right on up right in front of the body cam and say, officer, I'm carrying concealed today. And here's my concealed pistol license. I also have my driver's license here with me too.
Okay. Yeah. One thing that I also tell the students is make sure you stay buckled up.
Yes.
Because I've had people, one time an officer accused me of not wearing a seatbelt because, okay, I got to reach around and get my wallet. In order to do that, it's easier if I unbuckle the seatbelt. And so that's what I
Yep.
did. And
Yes.
fortunately, he was reasonable and he believed me.
Well, good. A reasonable officer out there.
Well, yeah, I think most of them are.
99.9% of them are.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Just cops get a lot of bad press. But all right, so what? Hands 10 and 2 on the wheel, and you've got, your driver's license, and with your CPL on top of that. Cop walks up. Police officers they do it a little differently. Some walk up like a bull in a china shop. Not many, but some do. Others come up very tentative with their hand on their gun and they're peering in and they're looking around. Some will look around in the back seat before they come up and talk to you. What causes all the differences there?
Officer survival. And usually when you get out of the academy, they preach to you quite a bit about you have the same right to go home as anybody else. And so they teach us how to be more cautious. Mistakes that were made in the past, they'll use those for examples on what not to do. So like looking through the back seat, make sure nobody's lying down there. Sometimes you'll see them reach over and lift up on the trunk.
Mhm.
Make sure nobody's gonna be hiding in the trunk, going to take you out from the trunk. So everything that we teach is for the officer to be able to survive.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that the tendency is from my perspective, Johnny Citizen, it's like my perspective is, okay, I'm being inconvenienced. This is embarrassing. I'm nervous. I'm frustrated. I don't want to get a ticket, but I also feel like I'm being treated like a criminal. Address that.
Okay, you have no idea what that officer just dealt with before that traffic stop. You don't know if he dealt with somebody who was a super polite or somebody who was just a complete ass.
Hmm.
Sometimes that bleeds on over, that gets your heart rate on up, and sometimes some officers have a hard time dropping that old emotion and working on something new here because it's an emotional roller coaster, a whole day of it,
Yeah.
and they just pulled you on over. They don't want to argue. They don't. They've been lied to most of the day. I can't say most of the day. Probably sometime during that day. And now you're trying to have a conversation with this person, and you're in the back of your mind, you might be thinking, "What lie is he going to be telling me?"
So would you recommend just give the police officer the benefit of the doubt and assume he means
Yes,
well?
it's a tough job, yes. And when they let's say it's a speeding ticket, well, how many did you just come off an accident where somebody was speeding and took a family out? You don't know.
Yeah.
Did it happen that day? Did it happen that week, that month? Because some of those still will play around in your head for a while, especially if it's a really gruesome, nasty accident.
hmm So like PTSD.
Right.
Yeah, one thing that I learned on traffic stops actually I've learned a couple of things over the last, 50 years. One is always use my cruise control because
Yeah. Yeah.
I have not gotten a speeding ticket, I don't know, in like 20 plus years, because I use the cruise control. Because the times when I speed, I'm not doing it on purpose usually. Usually it's
Right.
because I'm just daydreaming and I'm thinking about something tense, and so I'm over the speed limit, right? But so I always encourage people to use the cruise control if you can, and you'll get pulled over fewer times. And of course, keep the repair up on your cars, things like that. But the biggest thing for me it's like when I was in my teens, my 20s, my 30s, all the way up into like 44 or something like that, right? Every time I got pulled over, I got a ticket. And I didn't understand why until I realized that, okay, I was always frowning and grumpy when the cop came up to the car. But but once I realized that, I just said, okay, let's try something different, And I don't get pulled over every day, anything like that. But the next time it happened, I just smiled. Oh, hey, hi, officer. What's the problem? Or what? How can I help you? It was like night and day, and I haven't gotten a ticket probably in like
Let me
25 years.
let me tell your audience a secret. Polite people are hard to write citations to.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't give me some crying woman. That's no big deal. But when you're really polite, especially if I've had a rough day or a rough week,
hmm
that politeness will carry and help you out. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to get out of a ticket or anything like that, but officers need to hear that.
Yeah.
There are people out there who are sane.
Well, they're pretty underappreciated in general, especially in the last 10 years.
Oh, you're going to get me going on that. Yeah. To me, that was all about centralizing law enforcement to the federal government. And
Yeah,
no, absolutely
yeah.
not. You don't
Well,
centralize anything, folks. You keep it here at the local level where we can control it better.
yeah. That way if one of your deputies get out of line, they can come and chew on your ear, and then you
Right.
can do whatever is appropriate.
Well, by the time it gets to me, usually I'm looking at one of my command staff.
Oh, okay.
How
Right.
come this is happening with your deputy on your team?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, what other advice do you have for on encounters with police? And it doesn't
Oh,
have to be in a car, right? It can be on foot.
yeah, you may have witnessed an accident or something like that. Just keep your hands where they can see them. You want to make an officer nervous, put your hands in your pocket. They'll ask you to get your hands on out. If you do it again, they're going to pat you down.
hmm
They have that right to officer safety. They have that right to go home that night, just like you do.
If it's at night, do you recommend turning on the dome light?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay.
You're basically putting all your cards on the table. Keep your hands where they can see them, preferably on the steering wheel. Don't move until they tell you to do something. And that's not the time to argue with an officer who's out there on the traffic stop when cars are within a couple of feet of running him over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't start that argument over there.
Should you have the window rolled down by the time before they get up there?
Weather permitting, yes.
Okay. All right. And usually in the wintertime, if it's really cold out, I might roll it like halfway down, just because I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to ice and snow and all of that.
Well, from my experience, sometimes that heat coming out of there, so you can warm up your own fingers as an officer. So,
Okay. Um, all right. I know I know a lot of police officers, okay? And I know that there are certain times of the day when people get pulled over more often. Talk about that.
When they get pulled over more often.
Yeah,
Yeah, usually you'll see a lot of traffic stops when people are getting out of work
yeah. So
and
the
people
rush
are
hour.
in a hurry to get home.
Yeah.
Lunch hour, you're late getting back. Yeah.
Or they're on their way to work and they're running late or something like that. Um,
Yeah,
what?
but it's more when they get out of work.
Okay. Another thing that I've noticed is, boy, like it's like after dark. That's when people go out to dinner, they go out to have drinks, they go out to entertain and all of that stuff. And it seems like police officers look for reasons to pull people over just to see if they're intoxicated or whatever. Is it just, am I wrong, or is that the way it works?
You're not wrong. For us to get a good drunk driving case, so we have to have some type of driving history where you're driving erratically. Headlight out. Yeah, I've got drunk drivers for a headlight out. But yeah, when you get the prime hours where people are leaving the bars, and and the bars aren't staying open as long as they used to. They used to be open until 2 o'clock in the morning. When I first started, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now
Wow.
you're seeing more and more of these bars closing at 11.
Well, I was pulled over once. I try not to be out driving past like 10 o'clock just because, it's dark out. And if you've got any mechanical problems, like a tail light or even a license plate light. I got pulled over once because I had two light bulbs, one on each side of the license plate. One of them was out. I got pulled over, and I'm certain they pulled me over to see if I was drunk or something like that. It's hard to say that's like a safety issue.
Yeah, back when marijuana was really popular with people sneaking it around, that was quite popular. The license plate lights, and
Oh,
you pull
okay.
somebody over and you find some like a good sized baggie of weed on them or something like that.
All right. Okay. Well, all right. We're running out of time, so why don't you boil it down to like a paragraph? Someone gets pulled over. What do they do?
All right, officers approaching. Get your window down. Get your driver's license, your concealed pistol license, your proof of insurance, and your registration all ready to go. And have it all right in one hand with you. Keep your other hand on the wheel. Always keep your hands where the officer can see them. You can turn your dome light on, turn it on so he can see inside. And when he walks on up to you, you show that you have to tell the officer immediately that you are carrying concealed. You have your concealed pistol license right in front. Say, officer, I'm carrying concealed today. Here's my license. And then whatever the officer instructs you to do, you should do. Again, the time to argue is not on the road when an officer has cars coming within just a few feet of it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone win an argument with an officer on a traffic stop.
It's rare.
Yeah. Well,
I
that,
I, I pulled women over before, and as you walk on up, they got their leg crossed and their dress pulled way back, showing leg.
yeah.
And it's like, how did you drive with your leg crossed and the dress back like that? Um, that stuff really doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Well,
the arguing, no, don't argue. Ask you where you're going. You don't have to answer the questions. And there's a little booklet by Brent Allen Winters that talks about don't talk to the police. It's because
mhm.
they're building a case. So you were speeding and they walk on up to you and do you know I pulled you over tonight? A lot of people say, yeah, I was speeding. You just got a confession of speeding. So you're more than likely to get a traffic citation for it. However, that politeness that you just displayed,
Yeah.
that helps. Sometimes that'll get you out because, like I said, we deal with a lot of mean, nasty people, and finding somebody who's decent, that's a victory for us.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like really good advice. Dar, why don't you recommend something patriotic? Is
Oh,
there a
just lost you.
website people can go to or something like that where you would want every citizen to go to find out things that you think they need to know as a citizen?
I'd send you to Brent Allen Winters' website where he's got that book, Don't Talk to the Police. And it
Oh, okay.
sounds bad, but it's really not a bad book because when I first saw it, I was looking at it like, I'm a cop. Why would you not want to talk to me? And what he says makes sense. And he even goes into the biblical references to it.
Well, I will have to check that out myself. What's the guy's name again?
Brent Allen, Allan, and Winters, just like the
Brent
seasons.
Allen Winters. Don't talk to the police. All right. I'll check that out.
It's commonlawyer.com.
All right. I will put that link when I post the interview here. Okay.
In fact, if you want, I'll give you Brent's number one of these days, and you can call him direct, and you can talk about that book with him.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I think people would like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Dar, I will let you get back to protecting and serving the county, and I'm going to go out mushroom hunting.
Are you going to be well armed for that?
Absolutely. Yeah. People ask me, well, what caliber should you use when you're hunting morels? Small caliber.
You demonstrated that once.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, Dar, thank you very much for being on the Home Defense Show today.
Yes. All right. Enjoy your day.
All right, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, CenterShot Indoor Gun Range at CenterShotGunRange.com, ShootingClasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, and the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to USCCA.com. All right, I've written 20-plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my book, Civilian Combat, the Concealed Carry Book. I think you'll like it. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at ShootingClasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to ShootingClasses.com.
At CenterShot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. CenterShot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at CenterShotGunRange.com.
Hey there. Yeah, you. It's time to level up your skills. Check out ShootingClasses.com and explore a wide range of training options. With more than 50 types of classes to choose from, beginner to advanced, concealed carry to medical training, online sessions, and even non-live fire courses, there's something for everyone. Just enter your zip code, use the filters to narrow your search, and find the perfect class for you. This site has all the details: instructor bios, class info, requirements, available dates, and the option to register, all in one place. It's that simple at ShootingClasses.com.
In today's world, safety and preparedness are more important than ever. At Trinity Training and Security, we offer comprehensive training for your peace of mind. Whether you're obtaining your concealed pistol license, mastering CPR and first aid, or engaging in scenario-based training, we've got you covered. We look forward to working with you in one of our classes or bringing the class to your church, school, or business. Need security for an event? Protecting your assets? Our team provides private security, close protection, media crew escorts, high security terminations, and more. Always with discretion and professionalism. With Trinity, safety is more than a service. It's a commitment.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.